I should like to introduce our guest today. Seated next to me, Robert Stack, one of the stars of the picture Is Paris Burning? Next to him, Rene Clement, the director of the picture. And next to Rene, Mr. Clement, is Dominique Lapierre, one of the writers of the book Is Paris Burning? And Dominique is going to act as interpreter today for Monsieur Clement. And Dominique, let's begin with you with a question for Monsieur Clement. Would you ask him, please, if when he undertook to make this film, if there was any apprehension on his part about making this film and whether or not it would involve the population of Paris? Was he frightened that any incidents might occur?
Quand vous avez entrepris de faire ce film, est-ce que vous aviez une appréhension quelconque de la manière dont ça allait, dont la population parisienne entièrement allait être concernée? Avez-vous peur d'incidents, de choses qui pouvaient se passer?
Eh bien, ça a été d'abord la préoccupation des autorités.
It was first a problem for the authorities to be preoccupied with possible incidents and troubles to the Parisians.
Ensuite, c'était une question technique. Comment pourrait-on transformer le Paris de 1965 au Paris de 1944, sans voiture, sans trafic, sans rien, et y compris les barricades, la guerre et les tanks, etc., etc.
Then there was a terrible technical problem. How can you transform the Paris of 1965 into the Paris of 1944 with the barricades, with the street fights, with the war, with the tanks?
Were there any incidents in the making of the picture as far as people getting hurt or people perhaps reacting emotionally at a time when it wasn't appropriate?
Est-ce qu'il y a eu des incidents pendant le tournage du film, des gens qui ont été blessés ou des gens qui ont réagi d'une façon hostile?
La première réaction des Parisiens a été comment je vais pouvoir me rendre à mon bureau puisqu'à cause de ce film, toutes les rues sont bouchées.
The first reaction of the Parisians was, how can I go to my job tomorrow morning since all the streets are closed?
Robert Stack, let's get you into this conversation. So many of the stars in the film have a sort of personal involvement because perhaps they were there at the time of the liberation. Was there any personal involvement as far as you were concerned?
My only personal involvement was the fact that I loved the book, and when it was going to be made into a motion picture, I felt very strongly if I had the chance, I wanted to be a part of it, and Ray Stark asked me to play one of the three generals. Glenn Ford and Kirk Douglas played the other two. And I feel it's important to be a part of an important picture, plus the fact that I love the book. And weirdly enough, I haven't seen the picture itself yet. I'm going to see it, I leave for Paris Monday, and I'll see it in Paris in the trilingual version. A strange thing so far, to my mind at least, is the fact that this motion picture has had premieres of great success throughout the world, and ironically, of all places in Germany. It's been a fantastic success in Germany, and of course you would think this subject matter would perhaps restrict the motion picture success in that country, but it's a kind of a picture I think is going to be a worldwide acceptance picture, which doesn't happen too often.
Dominique, as one of the authors of the book, I remember talking to you a year or so ago, and you didn't know at that time whether it could be made into a motion picture. Now that it has, how do you feel about it?
Well, we knew what extraordinary problems it would be to film this book. But we had one comforting thought. We knew Rene Clement was doing it, and Rene Clement was in Paris in 1944, so he knew what those pages could mean to somebody who remembered, and we knew that he would carry this task, recapturing this wild moment of emotion like probably the history of man will never have again, when 4 million Parisians came in their streets. And this time, thousands of extras came in front of the cameras of Rene Clement. And I can tell you one thing, is that they were not acting, they were remembering, and they were playing that as they did in 1944.
Thank you all very much for your comments today about Is Paris Burning? Our guests, Robert Stack, Rene Clement, and Dominique Lapierre. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.